So you're separated, but you don't want to be. What are some positive signs to look for that may indicate your marriage can be put back together? That is what we will cover in this video. Plus, at the end of this video, I will be telling you how to get access to a free mini course that will also help bring your spouse back and put your marriage back together. So be sure that you stick around until the end. As we get started, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so that you don't miss when we post new content. So I was just on a podcast interview yesterday. It was a great podcast called Marriage Therapy Radio, where we talked about how difficult it can be to put a marriage back together when one spouse wants out. And this is likely where you are right now. You have a spouse who wants out for whatever reason. You're separated, divorcing, whatever it might be. And Zach and Laura, who were the co-host of Marriage Therapy Radio, great people, were asking how it was that we at Marriage Helper were able to work with these situations and that we have such a high success in doing so when typically counselors have a very hard time working with the couples where they're separated or getting a divorce. They asked me, how do you give hope to the hopeless? I responded by saying there are two things that need to happen. The first is teaching people what they did that led them here. And the second is teaching them what to do differently to bring their spouse back. That's the value of our free mini course, the one that I'm going to give you access to at the end. If anything works, the principles that we begin teaching you in this free mini course, it's less than 30 minutes, can work to help you bring your spouse back. So I will share with you the positive signs to look for in separation. But the most important thing is that you first actually learn these two things: what led you here and what to do now. Because you likely won't see any positive signs until you change what's going on. Here's what we know. You're separated now, continuing to do the same poor relationship behaviors or bad habits that led you here won't get you to where you want to be. Absence does not make the heart grow fonder. That is only true when you are happily married. In crisis, absence makes the heart grow peaceful. Because typically once you separate, one or both of you is now experiencing some relief. This is not necessarily good because it makes coming back together more of an obstacle, but it's not impossible. So be sure that you stick around and get that free mini course. And then here are the positive signs to look for after you implement what you learn in the free mini course. The first is that they are starting to open up to you. There are two reasons that people separate. Number one is they want to leave, or number two is because they're told to leave. So whether you wanted your spouse gone or they chose to leave on their own, here's one thing that is probably true. You stopped talking to each other. Yes, there may be some text here or there about kids or finances, maybe some brief phone calls, but you're probably not best friends right now. It's probably pretty hostile. But when you start changing the way you communicate with smart contact, which you will learn about in that free mini course, then you will begin to see your spouse hopefully start to want to talk to you more and begin to open up. This is a positive sign to look for during separation. This happened with me and my husband Rob when we had separated for a short period of time. I spent days not hearing from him. Then out of nowhere, he sent me one text message saying that he was going to buy a new car. So at that time, I actually had a coach, and I remember going to that coach and saying to him, he says he's gonna buy a car. I can't believe he's gonna buy a car. Like, why would he do that? And my coach said to me, okay, it may not be the wisest thing right now, but will it absolutely break you? Will it absolutely break your finances, ruin your family's life if your husband were to buy a new car right now? To which I said, it's not ideal, but no, it wouldn't be the end of the world. And he said, well then, don't fight about it. It's not worth the fight. So I didn't. I just said, okay. So after that, a couple of days later, Rob actually called me. And even though he was still acting cool and distant, he actually started to open up to me. He started talking about how he missed being there. He didn't feel like he had been a good husband over the past couple of months. And I just was able to sit and listen. So as I just sat and listened, he kept opening up more. The second positive sign is that they want to be around you more. When someone opens up to you and feels safe in the conversation, then they will want to be around you more too. It's really about safety. Do I feel like this person can accept me as I am? That's what we're all looking for. People are attracted to that and will want to be around you more when they feel like you are a safe place with their wishes, feelings, and desires. We've had several clients that we've worked with at Marriage Helper who are separated, but because of the change their spouse saw in them and the way they communicated differently, the spouse would start coming around more often, lingering at child drop-offs or wanting to come over after work to pick something up, and then they just end up staying for dinner and maybe even up until bedtime. Because people want to be around others who evoke emotions within them that they enjoy feeling. This is a very positive sign and a great sign during separation. The third positive sign is that they have mentioned that they miss being around you, the kids, or being in the house. Don't use this as a chance to berate your spouse or make them feel guilty for not being there when they say they miss being around you, but instead as a chance to allow them to come over and spend more time with you and the kids, as long as it's healthy to do so. Sometimes people think that they need to keep their spouse away or follow this whole no contact thing that you can see on YouTube. That's the worst thing you can do. If you are wanting to save your marriage and it's safe to do so, why would you want to keep your spouse away when they are wanting to spend more time with you? That is your chance to show all of your changes and spend time connecting in a positive and healthy way with your spouse. If reconciliation is going to happen, you have to start spending more time together. Have you noticed any of these positive signs so far in your separation? If so, comment below and let us know. But if not, then that is even more reason for you to get our free mini course, because you will learn more of these things that you can begin doing so that you can begin to see the positive signs during separation. Click the link on the screen. You can also see it in the show notes to get access to the free mini course of how to get your spouse back. You can also click the video on the screen to learn how to win your spouse back for a next YouTube video for you to watch. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.